Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey there, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Tim Dillon's from Long Island. I'm from Queens, lived on Long Island for 7 years. I understand Tim Dillon, and he used to listen to conservative talk radio. I've heard him talk about it on his podcast. He probably listened to some things that I produced back in the day. Don't try and put me in a corner. I've worked on both the Bob Grant radio show in New York City and on Pod Save America, so you don't know where I stand. Although, if you pay attention, you'll know when I think certain people are ridiculous. I'll leave it at that. Send your letters to Johnny Mac. Anyway, Tim Dillon was on Hot Ones. He believes Long Island's greatest contribution to the American culinary scene is the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. 2 eggs over medium bacon, American cheese, salt, pepper, and ketchup on a roll. And you eat that in the morning around 1:30 p.m. Think about it. It coats your stomach and absorbs that anxiety that would either push you to the gym or to a job or in a good relationship or on a jog. That anxiety would push you to become a better person. You can actually absorb all that with a sandwich and then go right back to bed. See, I used to like my mop-up food, 2 in the morning. There was a bagel store in Sunnyside, Queens, and I'd go get 2 bagels, onion bagels probably with butter. I would actually get off the subway stop a stop before where I lived so I could get the 2 bagels and eat the 2 bagels while walking home, and just kind of like the fresh air and the calories and the fat and in the cold especially, you'd feel a little more awake when you got home. Shake off some of those brewskis. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Tim Dillon said Long Island is a place of comfort, like the suburbs. If the food is bad, people would riot. There's nothing else. There's no culture. There's no real intelligence. Nothing is really interesting. There's no sense of history or community or family. There's no real athletics. I know we used to have the Islanders. It was great. I used to leave my house and be in an Islanders game in like 12 minutes. It was amazing. It's not especially pretty. I'll disagree with that. There's no national or local meaning or feeling of purpose. It's kind of a vacant landscape of nothing, a suburban emptiness that closets you until you finally fill yourself in with bagels, gnocchi, or fentanyl. The conversation turned to Tim Dillon's special, This Is Your Country. That was the Jerry Springer type special, and said, you know who didn't like it as much? Netflix. No, I'm kidding. They're great people there. We love them, but they don't love talk formats, and I think they were nervous about it. I think we all need daytime trash TV that's not hyper-political. I think we all need to coalesce around realizing that we're all garbage people and exploiting that. Nobody was talking about tariffs on Ricky Lake. That's what I remember was great about the 90s. People just want to do as much damage to each other as they could for entertainment value, and that's what I was trying to do. So are we now in the era of establishment, Tim Dillon? Do I no longer have to say I really liked his podcast, but someday when he cancels himself, I'm going to disavow and say I never told you that? Is he now part of the club? I think he's part of the club. He's getting on cable networks. Hot Ones is a lot more mainstream than you'd think. Like a lot more. Tim, I think you're now establishment Tim Dillon over there with your friend establishment Theo Vaughn, who's interviewing the vice president. What has happened? All you rebel outsiders, you lived long enough and the establishment brought you in and you didn't even realize it. Tim Dillon also defended whole milk, saying whole milk from America's heartland dairy farmers with whatever needs to be in it, whatever hormones are in it, need to be in it. Hands off, RFK. I'll have my milk the way I like it, genetically engineered. He also shared what he thinks is the most influential fast food item, the McGriddle, because the McGriddle married the sweet and savory in a way that now everybody does it. Some media pickup on something Marc Maron wrote. He put out a blog post that's similar to his comments from last week when he said he was ending the podcast. The headline now is simplifying it. Maron has Rogan regret, basically. In the blog post, Marc Maron writes, we weren't the first, but in terms of making it a viable medium, we were certainly one of the OGs. We changed the world, literally. We showed the world it was now possible to create a specific type of show in one's own terms. We helped unleash an exciting type of delivery system for pure self-expression. Sadly, on some level, we also unleashed a format that can be used for dubious means, propaganda, and pure evil. But hey, it's not the atomic bomb. On a recent WTF, Marc said, it's just interesting to me in the big picture of what's happening and what the medium has unleashed that me and Joe Rogan were both in the system. 2 ends of the spectrum of podcasting coming from the same source and a now truly apocalyptic landscape. In October of 24, Maron said podcasts have become a medium that normalizes fascism. He called out, quote, comedians with podcasts for having shameless, self-proclaimed white supremacists and fascists on their show. All it does is humanize and normalize fascism. When someone uses their platform for that reason, they're facilitating anti-American sentiment and promoting violent autocracy. Maron didn't call out anyone by name, but those words came 3 days after Rogan had released an episode with Donald Trump. By the way, Trump with Bono, Really enjoyed it. I'm a huge U2 fan. You can profile me. I'm 55 years old from Queens, New York, and my last name is McDermott. Of course, I like U2. And it was very good. Maron wrote last October, and this is timely. I don't know if you're paying attention to the news this week. Are you going to the parade Saturday? Yeah, look that up. Maron said, fascism is good for business if you toe the line. Popular podcasts became tribal and divisive years ago. Now they might be in the position to become part of the media oligarchy under the new anti-democratic government. All right, so send your letters to me, Marc Maron, Joe Rogan, and whoever else. Tim Dillon, too. Send him a letter. Iliza Shlesinger has been doing a lot of press, and I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. There seems to be some sort of PR campaign to get her an Emmy nomination. That seems to be what's going on. I'll talk more about that tomorrow because I saw a note in Billboard that pretty much said as much. But Iliza's been doing a lot of press, which is, well, I just said what. She said, you sort of don't know when a joke or new hour is done. This was in a sit-down chat for Deadline Studio at Prime Experience. But Iliza says, but you have to tape it at some point. And then the heartbreaking part is the next week when you go on tour, continue touring, you find all these things you should have said. It's almost like you have to tape an hour to know how much better your hour could be. That's interesting. I truly believe stand-up, and I'm saying this, is like a bottle of wine, and I think I'm stealing it from Sideways, but it's an ever-evolving thing. Her latest hour is titled A Different Animal. She says there's 45 minutes of material that never made the final cut. I believe an audience deserves a polished product, and people should expect that from stand-up comedy. Also, this is corny. The title isn't just a nod. Remember, the title's A Different Animal. The title isn't just a nod to her creative evolution. It's also an acknowledgement of the fact that what she delivers with both her material and her delivery is unique. Iliza says, I'm a different animal now than when I started comedy. The material's different, and I'm a different person than I was when I started writing A Different Animal, so I think it really speaks to the idea that what you get when you watch my stand-up is something completely different than people expect from comedy as a genre, or from me, from what you've seen before. My former coworker, Jamie Foxx, says he wants to mix comedy with, quote, funny church stuff, and is creating an experience that celebrates both his humor and his spiritual roots. Fox went on Instagram in a video. He said, I got some funny stuff that I want to do. I'm a church boy, so I want to do some funny church stuff. So when I come to your city, I need you all to pull up on me and play along. He's searching for gospel choirs in every city to join his upcoming tour. So rather than a house band of sorts, it would be a local choir. Fox has yet to share official guidelines on how this works yet, but he wants a different gospel choir in each city. Bert Kreischer was on the Drop a Pin show, and he proclaimed which of the American states is the best. Are you ready? What's your guess? Bert Kreischer proclaimed that Ohio is the greatest state America has to offer. Not only does he love the, quote, big cities, but he thinks the people are very understanding as opposed to other states. Bert said, I think Ohio is the greatest state in the union. I argue that because I've traveled everywhere. Its topography is gorgeous. It's the perfect political place to be where they get your personality. They welcome everyone, but they're not lunatics. You get weather, you get on the water. No state has the big cities that Ohio has. I think it's the best state in the union. Yeah, I mean, okay, weather, water, sure. No state has the big cities that Ohio has? No. California? Texas? Nobody has big cities? Like anything else, this got mixed responses on social media and from some losers recording a podcast in their basement. One social media user said, horrible take. It's Wisconsin going away. The Great American Comedy Festival is back. The headliner, Yakov Smirnoff. Yakov's been doing some press this week. He was going to do Fallon. That may have happened by now, but he's the headliner on Saturday. James Austin Johnson headlines Friday night. Part of the Great American Comedy Festival is honoring Johnny Carson, who would have turned 100 this year. Festival executive director Pat Jansen said Johnny Carson was a comedy legend, and certainly SNL is in that same pantheon. A member of the current SNL cast during the same year that we recognize Johnny's 100th birthday just feels so perfect. I heard me drop the G in that sentence. The Queen's accent's coming out today. I heard it. I'm leaving it in. Hit your 10-second rewind. It happened during the word during. The festival kicks off tonight with the traditional family comedy magic show. The festival opened in 2008 to honor the legacy of Johnny Carson. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is launching its own book club, and I know you're thinking, wow, that sounds really cool, and I'm with you, yeah, really cool. Stephen Colbert jumped on social media and said, we'll be highlighting wonderful books that are worth your time that you're not putting into watching this show. The first book in the super cool Late Show book club is called Orbital. That's a 2023 sci-fi novel. Colbert says Orbital is a beautiful novel about 6 astronauts on the International Space Station going about their daily tasks and pondering the meaning of life. It won the Booker Prize, and it won the even more prestigious prize of being my first book club pick. That actually sounds like a book I would like after I've totally made fun of the book club. But come on, Late Show Book Club? Jacob Samuel has an album out today. He spoke to Straight.com. He said one of the problems he had breaking into comedy is, I'm not a good storyteller. I was never a naturally charismatic schmoozy guy. I always thought I wanted to do comedy writing. I didn't really want to perform. But then you realize that to even start down that path, you need to be performing if you want to make inroads in the comedy communities. His style is observations of modern-day life and quick hits of 12 to 15 seconds. He says, I love that joke structure where you add a little clue and then some people get it, then more people get it, and you're bringing everyone in slowly. An example, which I'm sure he told better than I will, it's about dating apps, he said. I'd see some women write in their profile, I just love life, and that's great because that tells me you have zero life experience. Another, I'm a jazz lover, and I don't mean I love jazz. I mean I make love like jazz because the way I make love is not very popular. That's a good joke. His first album, Horsepower, 45 minutes, won the 2021 Juno Award for Comedy Album of the Year. This new one is called Big Talk. He says, sometimes you put in a lot of work and it results in nothing. He told a story. I had to cut a joke in my special that I've been doing for 5 years because the week after I recorded the special, Nate Bargatze came up with the same joke on the fly on his podcast. It wasn't the exact same wording. I think mine was better because I had worked on it, but he figured out the same concept. So I'm like, well, I can't put that out there because the hottest comedian in the world just did it, and who's going to believe me? That sucks. He says, one of my favorite jokes in this special, it's one of the first jokes I wrote to rebuild my act. I dropped it for a while because the wording was a bit clunky. Then I posted it on social media. It did really well. The joke is about the Honda Odyssey. It's a weird name for a vehicle because if you know anything about the Odyssey, you know it didn't go well. That's funny, too. Big Talk is the name of the special, and he is Jacob Samuel. It all sounds pretty good. And congratulations to Nina Yankovic on graduating college. Her dad, Al, went on Instagram to announce that Nina had graduated from college. Al posted a photo of him and Nina saying, my daughter Nina graduated from college today. Sorry, this is the most recent picture I could find of her. It was, of course, a picture of them at the graduation. That's your comedy news for today. If you enjoy the program, please tell a friend about it. They might like it too. And if you would like it without commercials or feed drops or any of that, if you're on Apple Podcasts, click the banner that says uninterrupted listening. If you're not on Apple, go to calaroga.com/plus, or there's a link in the show notes that will help you out. $5 a month, all that goes away. It supports the show. You get the deal. You've heard me mention this lately. All right. See you tomorrow.